Yo, give me a sec. I changed some stuff about the YouTube stream and I want to see if it looks alright. I'm streaming in 4K now on YouTube. Gee, it looks good. Okay, so that works. Because what's been happening is... I should probably not play this. Because what's been happening is, in terms of my Twitch and YouTube streams, I think Twitch just looks a hell of a lot better. YouTube's been looking like shit. And I think it's because I've been streaming in 1080p and that doesn't sit well with YouTube for some reason. A lot of people have been saying stream on 1440p. But if I can afford to do 4K, why not, right? I don't even do 4K in most things. I don't even 4K my video games. I don't even have a 4K monitor. I have a 60 hertz, 75 hertz monitor or something. I don't know. So, not really super good. But in terms of YouTube quality, I think as a whole, this is working so far. It's looking crisp as hell. So that's pretty nice. At least it looks comparable to Twitch now. It is a lot better. Like, just won't be scuffed for a bit, but like look at this. It do be looking good. I must say that it do be looking good. But I was watching Max. I'ma drag this. I've been watching Superhero X, of course. Still kind of watching it. So, yeah. What we're going to be doing today is editing. I figured I might as well stream myself while editing. But it's also not just this one, because this one's going to be a short that I'm going to be posting tomorrow before I go live, because I kind of have this thing where I time myself, right? I usually post videos before I go live so I can... Okay, I have I'm pulling out a notepad as well because I want to write some stuff. But usually I post videos before I go live in hopes that the views from the videos will funnel over to my stream. It has worked for some streams, not necessarily all of them, but it really depends on what the game is and what the how well the videos do, I guess. But if it's not, the thing is, if it's not a video game, right? If I'm not posting content about video games, usually it doesn't do well. Like the anime content that I posted yesterday, it doesn't really do well because I don't typically talk about, or at least I don't often recurringly talk about animes, you know? So that's the thing. I think it's best to focus on a niche, but I figured it's my channel, right? Why wouldn't I be posting about random things that I like talking about? So for me, it's alright. Not necessarily super needed, but I just felt like doing it. And this is like a part of what I do for my like content creation shit. So this is editing. Of course, I took most of these from the YouTube VOD. I should have probably taken it from Twitch because it looks a hell of a lot better on Twitch. Maybe finally with this like 4K shit, it'll actually make a difference. I don't know. I'm hoping that it does. I'm hoping that it changes. Because right now it looks super crisp. Like I'm looking at the stream on my second monitor, it looks super crisp. So that's dope. And I legit didn't know that's how you're supposed to be changing how shit works. You have to create a new stream key with a new resolution, copy the stream key into your OBS. I'm using ASM multi-stream, so ASM multi-stream, do that. That's nice. So streams to YouTube. The main test is definitely tomorrow to see if it holds up tomorrow when I actually game. So for now it is edit time, I guess. Let me lower the volume of the OST real quick just so I can hear my stuff when I edit. So I'll start with the short. This is just gonna be simple. I've captured moments in this game where I think is relevant because I look at the title. The title is Near New Player Experience. I'll probably name it Near Automata New Player Experience, or what it feels like to play Near for the first time, or something like that. I don't know. I'll see where the title goes when I'll decide it when I post it. It's not something I decide upon beforehand. You can look at my previous titles, everything. Some of them work, some of them don't. So, you know, just how I think about stuff. So, what some of these are... it's not... I didn't record it timeline-wise because the previous recordings are messed up because I had a tab open and I didn't realize there was some background voices in the back. Okay, so it starts here. I'm just gonna... These don't really match up though, do they? I'm just gonna pull a couple. I always do this, create a copy, just so I can have as you can tell, I don't know my keybinds. I don't know my keybinds. So shorts, of course, vertical, gotta have it. So I'm gonna flip it because my camera's flipped. Drag it. As you can see, the resolution kind of sucks because it's a YouTube stream thing. Make sure it's all in line. That's good enough. At least I don't have to crop top. If I have my screen on like the bottom right, I would have to crop top. So this is fine. And then this I will shrink it. Sometimes it pops up the camera, but it's fine. I don't think people mind it that much, because that's how it is for gameplay videos. Unless you're capable of recording your VOD while you're separately recording the gameplay while you are streaming. I don't have that capability. I don't think my computer is able to process that. So what I can do is... It sucks, right? Look at the quality, it sucks. Compared to... Like, this is a learning experience, of course. It's not something I know how to manage because I'm still relatively new to this. And I don't have people telling me what to do. I'm following tutorials. If you don't know how to search for those tutorials, you're not gonna know those tutorials exist. Just like most things. It's how you go to college. You go to college for the paper, but at the same time, for the subject matters that you want to major in, that's what it is. You kind of know, even if it's something you want to learn, you gotta know those things exist before you can learn it. So for me, this is like a journey, a process, a trial and error, and there's a lot more error than trial. There's a lot more trials than error, there's a lot more errors than success. So, gotta learn these things. Let me pop out my chat real quick. I can't say shit. Oh, Seribot worked. Wait, hold up. Oh. Ah, shit, I can't see it on the chat, but let me drag my OBS real quick. Oh, Seribot worked. Spam detected. Feels good, man. That's like the first message I've seen of Seribot that actually signals that it worked. Because usually, these things, right, they don't... the bots are one thing. bots, they'll pop in, they'll be like, need more viewers? Then they'll link something or whatever, and those are very easily automated, right? You can ban them relatively quickly. The ones that are harder to detect, the ones that are a lot harder to for the bots to be like auto modded is the people who ask for you to buy graphics. And I think that's the most annoying ones actually, because they'll be hounding on whatever game's popular. If you're I got the most of them during my Expedition 33 streams. That sucks. Especially when they pop in during pivotal moments, when the cutscenes are playing and you're getting emotional, and those fuckers are just like, yo, you need better graphics for your stream, man. That'll make your stream pop off. I'm like, you make your stream pop off. Graphics don't make your stream pop off, especially graphics that a ton of people have, because they're all the same. So, you know, you gotta manage stuff like that. That's the thing, right? A lot of people don't necessarily tell you these things when you start to stream until you actually start streaming yourself. And these are the things you learn along the way, and I'm learning. Of course I'm learning. Maybe, like, I'm not like a master at this, but maybe one day I can make like a tutorial on how to multi-stream or how to set up your OBS or how to do stuff like that, but I don't think it's super necessary. There's already a ton of people doing it, and what I can bring to the table is definitely trial and error, right? But that depends on my gaming stream and how it works. Because right now I have it set to 4K. If it works good, then it works good. If it doesn't, then that's nothing I can do. I'm gonna be real. But yeah, these are the things that nobody really tells you about streaming. You gotta learn how to set it up yourself, of course. All the OBS stuff, all the little details, but those you can pretty much look up a tutorial and you're good. But then there's the little bits of tech problems or troubleshooting issues. But those can be addressed. You just gotta know how to Google, you just gotta know how to, maybe even like ChatGPT can help. But the main problem that I've run into just from streaming alone is just the bots. I think the best way to prevent bots is to like enable the authentication thing. There's like an email verification, there's a phone number verification. I think most people, when they watch streams on Twitch, if they want to chat, if they want to do anything, they would have those verifications enabled. It sucks if it drives away people. It sucks if it drives away actual people that don't have those things, but you gotta make do somehow, right? Otherwise your chat's just gonna be full of bots. Your followers are just gonna be full of bots. And I think my Twitch followers are full of bots, but that's a thing for another day. So you can install Seripot for that. I have it myself. It doesn't always work because of the second issue at hand. The second issue at hand are the graphic artists that always shows up. I have been seeing those guys pop up for freaking months, since I returned to streaming actually. When I streamed during COVID, it was mostly the bots. The bots are like, they have for whatever reason, they're all named kind of the same thing. But those are easily detectable. You see those kinds of usernames, you immediately recognize that, oh, they're bots. You don't have to thank them for their follows. They're just bots flooding your follow list, your chat, whatever the fuck else. But for the second problem, it is mainly the graphic artists. And those are usually people. They are humans. Not bots, because they actually respond to you, and sometimes some of them are bots. Of course, some of them are bots. They're gonna be using the same chat commands. You're streaming a game. You are literally gonna be streaming, say, Expedition 33, and they'll be in here asking, "What game are you streaming, Mr. Streamer? What game are you streaming?" Fuck off, bro. So, one way to tell, one easy way to tell with these accounts is that you click on their usernames. You can see when their account is created. And if it's recent, red flag right there. Immediately, you can tell. Especially if it's just like a week or a couple of weeks ago, within the month, I would say. I don't think a lot of graphic artists and a lot of bots would survive more than a month, like their accounts. So if you want to ban them, ban them. For me, I just sometimes I toy with the idea of making content from those interactions, and I do have one. Never posted it though, but there's one that that I have in my storage that I can use if I need to. But yeah, these are the things that nobody really tells you about streaming unless you stream yourself and you've gone through it. So moderate shit yourself, I guess. It's just like the best way I figured out how to do these things. But yeah, edit videos, I guess. Man, I'm gonna edit this first, and then I'm gonna probably write a script for the Silksong review, and then I'm gonna probably do a Silksong boss tier list as well. And we'll see about that after. I don't think I'm gonna do everything today because that's gonna take hours upon hours. I'm gonna do whatever I can, and we'll see about that. So for now,
alert. Enemy unit sighted ahead.
Requesting permission to engage.
let me just post the video game soundtrack real quick. Pull it down a little bit more.
Permission granted.
Remember to set it back though. That's the thing. RB fire. It's quiet, so OBS doesn't care that much. I'll raise the volume to about 8. See if it works. I never played MMOs. When you see red, just dodge. Okay, these work. What is this? Okay, for this, I'll just copy paste all video attributes. Copy paste, kaboom. So, you know, everything's cropped the same way. Feels good, man. Don't gotta work. I don't even know what the fuck happened. No!
Enemy unit sighted ahead. Alert. Enemy unit sighted ahead.
Requesting permission to engage.
I'll crop some parts that I don't think are super...
Requesting permission to engage.
1 sec. That sucks. Down a little bit more.
Permission granted.
Because I was like... set it back though. That's the thing. RB fire. More.
Permission granted.
Remember to set it back though. That's the thing. RB fire. Maybe this isn't necessary. You stupid! Might be a bit too chaotic to start here right away. I don't want people to be... This too... You stupid!
78 down.
Guess it works. Never played MMOs? When you see red, just... I'm cutting off unnecessary parts.
Down.
I never played MMOs? When you see red, just dodge. A point got across, so that's fine. No, you dumb fuck! A little bit of dead air. No, you dumb fuck! I don't know if it's funnier to cut it immediately. No, you dumb fuck! Might be funnier to do this. No, you dumb fuck! What was with my way of speaking, dude? Sometimes I get annoyed with myself. I don't need to... I do this all the time. No, you dumb fuck! This is fine. This is good. I'm gonna throw this in. Oh, no, copy. This one you can copy as well. It's a volume. Just click volume. What the hell, bro? Okay, I don't even know what the fuck happened there. That's. Can fast forward a little bit. What the? See how it transitions. What the hell, bro? Okay, I don't even know what the fuck happened there. That's fine. Be good. But that's just pretty much it for shorts, really. You get straight to the content. Because people have really short attention spans when it comes to shorts. This one's the ending, though. No, this one's when I switch to normal, so that's not necessary yet. This is still the... Okay, so that part. These three, drag it in. Do the same thing, copy, paste, drag it. Copy, paste, paste, paste. Bup, 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 bup. Oh, no. You I don't even know what the fuck happened there. So for me, I'm using DaVinci Resolve because it's free. Whoa! And it's like really easy to use. I had never used Premiere Pro. I've never used Vegas Pro. I never used Final Cut because I don't have a Mac, obviously. So maybe for the first one. Oh, no. This one. This. What the fuck happened there? Oh, no. You turned my camera. Cut it. Why is it weird? I fucked up the... Okay, it's fine. So DaVinci works a bit weird sometimes, that if you delete it in the wrong place, it's a chunk's gonna go missing. So you gotta be aware of that. My camera again. This might be a bit too early though. Again. Okay, that's why I have it. Okay, I re-recorded it. Smart move by me. Again. Yep, that works. Again. I want to make the slap more audible. Wait. Oh. Lower this. Make slap more audible. I'll trim this part. Zoom in. Upper volume. I like the timing of it, you know? I smack it and then it just goes. That's some WWE shit right here. That's interesting. Okay, that works. Again. That's nice. Okay, so we're done with this part, and I think the next one would be the boss. Was it? No, this is when I got frustrated and I changed. You can see which videos you copy pasted so you don't have to like pay attention that much. Anything with the red lines. Right? Anything with the red lines. You already copy pasted it, so you're good with that. Oh yeah. My workflow would obviously be a lot faster if I knew the shortcuts and everything, but I don't. I need to copy paste, of course. I got one shot. Okay. The length, it's about a minute in. We're good still, because for these kinds of videos, I would keep it between minute 30, minute 40. So we'll finish all the cropping and splicing first, then we see how long, then I'll trim everything from there. Just to see if it fits. I don't think these story parts are super necessary.
Better make sure he's
Yeah,
actually
assistant.
dead next time. That was dangerous, man.
I need...
You're 2B, right? My name's 9S. I'm here to provide support.
Yeah, I don't
Copy
think
that.
this is needed at all. I'll be honest. Have it be the last part. I don't know. This is the last part. So I'll just copy paste all of them. I mean, drag it in all of them. Will I ever learn? I learned. Doesn't mean I'll remember, but I learned. So for these, same shit, just copy paste. One thing I gotta, let me check. Copy that. Shift drag everything. Can I paste it? No, I pasted the wrong thing. Can I do this? On everything. And it works. Okay, cool. I learned something new today. So you can just highlight everything. Shift click, highlight the whole row. If you want to add more clips, just like control. So you can copy paste the attributes of one video, then paste it across the entire row. So that's nice. I'm gonna do this again on volume. Visually, you can see it. It's all green for now. Audio. Oop. This works. Freaking nice. Okay, fuck. No. What's I doing? I got one shot. The YouTube thing. I might have to crop it. I'm cropping most of these anyway. No. So it's just not. You can zoom in. I want to see it more clearly. I think this is nice. But for this part, I might have to just make it more visually clear that I got one shot. I'll do normal first, because I don't want to fucking do this again. I have to do this. That's good enough. Do this again. Out. If you want to just up and down, just hold control. Pretty much it. First, because I don't want to fucking do this again. Part menu. That fucking bullshit. Got one shot. I'll do normal first, because I don't want to fucking do this again. Okay, that works. Feels like a prime boss fight location, not gonna lie. I'll leave a bit of headroom. Feels like a prime boss fight location, not gonna lie. Leave a bit of tail room. I'm fighting Optimus Prime's grandfather. Holy. Don't I have a clip that says there's a reason for that? I think I do. Or maybe... No, I don't need that one. I don't think... Can I get away with... Will this be too much? I don't really think it changes anything. It's a little off-center, but that's... fine. Just seeing how this works, honestly. Okay, it's already over 2 minutes. I want the I'm fighting Optimus Prime. I want that line. I'm fighting Optimus Prime's grandfather. Holy. And I can probably cut the rest of this, because the second part is largely the same and it's the end of the fights. Father, holy. Yeah, there's a whole first section of this fight as well, but I don't think it's super necessary. Control on upper arm? What? What was it? What was it? What was the sub? Control on upper arm? What? Heart. Keep shooting, you do. I mean, I'm just gonna keep. I'm just gonna. Maybe this part. I mean, I'm just gonna keep shooting. You do you. That's fine. Oh. So many balls. I mean, I'm just gonna keep shooting. You do you, man. This part is fine. Zoom away. Cut it here. What about the No, that's maybe this would work. See the whole thing. I mean, I'm just gonna keep shooting. You do you, man.
制御システムを奪う。
了解。敵サブユニット侵入。
Grab the
挙動
arm.
テーブル変更終了。姿勢制御バーニアコントロール。敵兵器の従属化を完了。
Slap it with his own hand. Slap it with his own hand.
終了。
Slap it with his own hand. Slap it. It did slap it. Oh my god. Slap it. I can cut off the middle slap. It did slap it. Oh my god. Save a little bit of time, no? Slap it. But it's not necessary, I don't think.
すごく強引な戦い方ですね。2B は
Nope.
本部に
Black box. It did slap it.
そんな
Whoa. Kurusu. 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 Take out them black boxes. And the best way I can say this is, for shorts, you're basically just doing the same thing as those people who narrate videos on summarizing movies or summarizing anime, summarizing television series. That's what you're doing. You don't gotta go into hyper specific details on everything. You just gotta straight to the point.
申請ブラックボックス反応による
Let them see the black box, but I don't need to stay on it for long.
ブラックボックス反応による敵大型兵器の殲滅敵大型兵器の殲滅
Maybe have that as context.
敵大型兵器の殲滅
編成を許可。
あなたと共に戦えて光栄でした。
私もだ。
Maybe?
滅
Damn. Damn. That's a flashbang right there. This part is not important anymore, I don't think. How many minutes in? And all this. Damn. How many minutes in? 40 minutes. Ay. How many minutes in? 40-minute intro, you get to save once? Who does this? Who does this? That's fine. I'll grab my outro that I always use for videos. Have it here. I'll just drag it over. How many minutes in? 40-minute intro, you get to save once? Who does this? Admit a little bit. To save once? Who does this? Two minutes. I want to cut a little bit or something, so let's watch it again. Go from there. You stupid!
70 down.
See if anything's unnecessary. MMOs? When you see red, just dodge. No, you dumb fuck! What the hell, bro? Okay, I don't even know what the fuck happened. If I could, I want to make this part longer though. Oh no no no! No. You turned my baby. Yeah, it could be a little bit shorter. Know what the fuck happened? Oh no no no! No. You turned my camera. Don't need context anymore, so. My camera. Again. I love this. The accidental sinking. I smacked my chair and then the top part starts. The static. Maybe I don't need this part. I got one shot. I'll do normal first, because I don't want to fucking do this again. Feels like a prime boss fight location, not gonna lie. Like, I think this part is necessary. just because. I don't, like, I'm never the type to say I'm a god gamer, I'm a fucking... Maybe as a funny joke, but... I'm never the type to claim that I'm playing on hard mode when I'm not. After this, I did change the hard mode. Because I can start saving that shit. And I still, in some ways, I think hard mode is not super worth it. But, you know... I think normal mode is a little bit too easy, but I think hard mode is just not worth it. If there's something of a middle point in between, I think that'll be a perfect. Normal first, because I don't want to fucking do this normal again. They die way too easily. Feels like a prime boss fight location, not gonna lie. I'm fighting Optimus Prime. Maybe this part is not necessary too. This part I can cut out. I can do this again. I'm fighting Optimus Prime's grandfather. Holy. Like, there's no more deaths from this part onward because I actually didn't die from this part onward after changing to normal, so... And if there were, I'd be pissed. I mean, I'm just gonna keep shooting, you do you, man. Optimus Prime's grandfather. Holy. I mean, I'm just gonna keep shooting, you do you, man. Slap it with his own hand. Slap it. It did slap it. That cut off the last slapping part? I did. But is it? Slap it with his own hand. Slap it. It did slap it. It might not be necessary though. I think this is fine. I think it's fine. Damn. How many minutes in? 40-minute intro, you get to save once? Who does this? Almost 150. Is there anything that I can... No, you dumb fuck! What the hell, bro? Okay, I don't even know what the fuck happened. Oh, no. You turned my camera! Again. That was a good idea to like, increase the slap. I got one shot. I'll do normal first, because I don't want to fucking do this again. I'm thinking of if there's any memes that... Is there any memes that, like calling you out on being a shit gamer? I have to... That's something I gotta think of. Shit gamer meme. I don't know. I don't remember. Man. I don't want to see people shit themselves. That's a different thing. This is the only thing I can think of. I don't know if this works though, unless people actually know. It might work. It might actually work. I'll test. I'll wait for this to load. Start screen recording this. Okay. Fine. Grab it. Start screen recording this. Might work. I'll what's that part again? All put it in, drag it all back, cause I don't want to fucking do this again. I'm fighting Optimus Prime's grandfather. It's fine. I'm still very disappointed that we never heard Get Good once in Silksong. Because what the fuck? He never even says Shaw. I mean, I'm just gonna keep shooting. You do you, man. Or it could be shorter. I mean, I'm just gonna keep shooting. You do you, man. Slightly shorter. Like now it's just trimming. Pure trimming.
制御システムを
Whatever I can trim to get rid of time.
制御システムを奪う
了解。敵サブユニット侵入。挙動テーブル変更終了。
Slap it with his own hand. Slap it. It did slap. Ah. Slap it. I don't think that last part is necessary. Ah.
敵大型兵器の殲滅
What is this? Ah. Trimming.
敵大型兵器の殲滅
Damn. How many minutes in? 40-minute intro? You get to save once? Who does this? All that trimming. 143. 143, I think it's fine. You get to save once? One thing I could do is... And nobody cares about this one. You get to save once? Who does this? 1 second, Jordan. Intro, you get to save once? Who does this? Fine. That's completely fine. I think we're good. I would want more memes, but I think this is fine. One short. Save it. Liver. So, shorts. Near. Automata, new player. Spirits. I don't know if this is gonna be the last title that I use, but just render it. Yeah, this is how you edit. Short. No, that's just how it is. You kind of gotta do it this way because, yeah, that's part of being a content creator. But you're not gonna be this. I think I edit relatively fast because I'm pretty much used to these like softwares and everything. I worked in audio for like a few years, and most of my audio editing experience, like, it's all the same, right? It's all the same. Whenever I'm recording ADR, it's the same. I'll just be there recording whenever they say their lines and comping it right away if they think it's a good take, or if the director think it's a good take. Then I'll just save it. And yeah, I'm used to these softwares. It's just a matter of how you want your shorts to be. And I personally have experimented, and I think a lot of the gameplay shorts are kind of better if you just get straight to the point. So for me, that's how it works. But yeah, done with this one. So what I'm gonna do now, this was gonna be tomorrow's video, I guess. So what I'm gonna do now is, I have been wanting to work on a proper Silksong review, and I think I can make a shorts out of that, but at the same time I want to do a long form review. So maybe what I can do is I will see if there's any people doing Silksong reviews. And
welcome back to another episode of Before You Buy, the show where we give you some straight up
A
gameplay
month ago,
and
though.
our first impressions of the latest.
I want first impressions. I don't want IGN.
I've seen in any game. I thought this area was unreasonably difficult when I first tried to force my way through it. But then I took a break, explored elsewhere, and returned hours later with new items.
That's not exactly a good ratio. But here's the thing with here's the thing. I don't necessarily agree with the whole sentiment that if you like a game, it has to all be good talking points. I think you should criticize things you like. And I do have a lot of criticisms about this game. Ultimately, I think my score would be about an 8.2, 8.3. But I don't know if I should even include scores into reviews. Game score.
Like, what's next? You're gonna just start cutting the crust off of all your sandwiches? You know, grow up. But piggybacking off of this discussion,
I've seen this
difficulty
one.
in this game, there is something, and it's kind of like the only complaint I have about Silksong that I think is a little overdone, and it is the 2 damage enemies, because basically every common enemy and every single like obstacle in the game does 2 masks worth of damage. It's a significant chunk. Even the most throwaway trash mob in like the starting zone will be doing like 2 damage to you. Like, it is a little excessive. Do I think the game is too hard for it? Not necessarily, but it does make it annoying. Because when you are trying to explore and look for secrets or something, or you're doing like a run back to...
I'm just looking at these for context. I'm not trying to steal their talking points or anything. I'm just trying to see how they do it. But Charlie, I think his videos are a whole different level. I don't think a lot of people could actually just sit there and talk for 10-15 minutes and there's gonna be like 1 million people watching. I don't think that happens to 99% of content creators. I just don't think that happens. So his reviews are, it can be good. I just don't think it's the type of video that will draw people in.
Silksong's getting review bombed, so let's talk about it. Silksong has been anticipated for years, and when they
get review bombed? 76 hours, Jesus Christ. Did you get review bombed? I'm very bothered. What do you mean? What the hell?
finally announced the release date, it stole the show at Gamescom. And it was so anticipated that once it was released, it crashed all the servers of all the stores.
That it did. That it actually did.
After playing Hollow Knight for 2 days, this is my non-spoiler review of Hollow Knight Silksong. After about 19 hours, I was able to complete the first ending. I don't know if there's multiple endings. Please don't spoil it for anybody in the comments. Based on the trailers, I know that I missed a ton of stuff, but that said, there's a lot of things I liked and a lot of things I didn't like. First off, the things I didn't like there are tons of enemies that deal double damage throughout the map. There's like trash mobs that deal double damage. Like, you'll just...
That's one thing I didn't mind though. Here's the thing. Okay, I'm gonna play some video game music. The stream's current bitrate, let me see this real quick. Lower than the recommended bitrate. We recommend that you use a stream bitrate of 23,000. What the fuck? Should I care about this? Hold on. The stream's current bitrate is lower than recommended. Did I give a shit? I'll just check this later on, I think. Like if it's smooth, then who cares, right? Like, I don't give a shit. As long as it is smooth. So right now I'm streaming at about 4K. So this is a new stream key setting thing that I'm trying to do. So if it works, it works. Like there's a weird current bitrate, whatever the hell, that's whatever, right? So that's fine. So okay, Silksong review. I'm trying to make this a long form video. And I think the best way is to just start with bullet points, because I tend to write out my scripts entirely. I tend to do like really detailed stuff because that's how I do it. So I'm gonna start with bullet points and build from that point onwards. How do I start? Pros and cons, I think. Pros, cons. So pros would be fantastic art style, because I do really like a lot of the art style, the artwork and everything. It is like a really huge improvement, huge QOL improvement from original Hollow Knight. I feel like the movements is a lot smoother. Maybe another point in this would be can't imagine healing without... Can't imagine healing. Can't imagine not hovering. Can't imagine not healing in midair. Being stuck to the ground while healing. So these kinds of things. Let me change my title real quick. How did I change my title so fucking... Oh my god, I don't remember. How does streaming work? Wait, how does streaming work? Shit. This one I don't care. Fucking... Where's the thing? Stream settings. Doing Silksong review editing / scripting. That works. Done. Bye bye. And I'll copy paste on doing Silksong review / editing. Maybe I should say very much spoilers. Because I'm kind of spoiling it, right? I could also do a non-spoiler review, but I think it's a lot better to just go for it, right? Silksong review. I haven't filmed anything yet, of course. We're gonna get into it. Change again. Okay, let's see. Sprinting? That's huge. Really like sprinting. I could say one thing about cons. Enemies that do 2 HP, I don't mind as much. Maybe it's cause I played Hollow Knight right before jumping directly into Silksong. But I don't think you're gonna get hit by a lot of trash mobs anyway. So that's one thing. One thing did I say one thing before? One thing I really didn't like was how they overused the arena style combat. Almost every area had at least a couple of these fights. Whereas in the original Hollow Knight, it only started showing up towards the end, where you can finally access, what's the fucking area again? Fog something? Fog Hollow Knight? Fog Canyon, my brain works. Fog Canyon. Showing up towards the end. From Fog Canyon onwards. Or the Colosseum. Colosseum? How do you spell that thing? The one L2S is okay. That's my biggest complaint, so. No, actually, there's one more. Music for certain areas are insane. Favorites include COG, Workcore, then I'll maybe play a bit of it. I liked Bile Water. Who knew such a nasty ass place would have what do I call that music? Do you call it whimsical? Such whimsical music. That's fine. I'm gonna be honest though, for the rest of the music, I don't really remember that much because in terms of video game OSTs, I think I listen to way too much Final Fantasy, and every time I hear any orchestral arrangements, it just kind of sounds Final Fantasy-esque to me. So there's not too many tracks that stand out. Yeah. The lace fight was cool as well. Hogwarts Core. The lace fight. I don't know if it's the second lace fight or the last lace fight. I gotta remember that. And Biowater. My personal favorite. Biowater. Who knew such a nasty ass place would have such whimsical? Who knew such whimsical music would be played in a place that's named after... that's nasty though, because bile is... even saying it is weird. If you haven't eaten anything, right, you puke up bile. You puke suck up water from your bile, so that's like where my brain's headed. But do I want to be that detailed and nasty about it? I don't think it's necessary. Maybe I can change my category to Silksong. Give me a bit. Still thinking. Like, I don't need the video to go that long. I'm not thinking of a 10-minute video. I'm not thinking of getting super detailed. But I'm just giving my thoughts on the game. And then maybe I'll do a boss tier list as well. What else? Do I have anything to say about sprinting? There's a lot of narrow, long passageways across the entire game. So sprinting definitely sprinting makes you feel like you save time. Sprinting makes you maybe I could say like if there was no sprinting, or if I were to go back to playing original Hollow Knight, the one thing I would miss the most is sprinting. If there was a feature that I'd miss the most going back to the original Hollow Knight, it'd be sprinting. There's a lot of long passageways across the entire game. And it's especially useful, especially good when you start getting tilted by needing to run back into boss fights. Especially good when you start getting tilted to shit. From repeatedly tilted to shit. From repeatedly dying to bosses. From repeatedly dying to bosses and doing the run back. Maybe that helped. Cool boss fights. Some of the games, some bosses, there's some bosses in the game that there's amazing bosses in the game. There's some amazing bosses in the game. Like that would be, because I'm picturing it right now and it's like, I'm like looking at the camera saying there's some amazing bosses in the game, then cut to some of the examples. So many of these fights are creative. And my favorite ones are typically the fast-paced, more fast-paced. Fast-paced style, fast-paced combat. My favorite ones are typically the more fast-paced style of combat. This feels like a fucking essay though. I don't want to make it feel like a freaking essay. That's the problem with this. So many of these fights are creative. And some of my favorite ones, most of my favorite ones are typically the more fast-paced. My favorite ones are typically the ones that have a bit more fast-paced style of combat. And my favorite ones are typically the bosses that have a more fast-paced style of combat. I could give some examples. I mean, my favorite was definitely Clockwork Dancers, I think. Clockwork Dancers was quite a balance of like creativity, the story of the fight, it being quite sad. If you have freed the prisoner in Sinner's Row, you get that bit of lore as well. The music is amazing. Fight itself was amazing. There's like 4 phases, technically 3. The last phase doesn't actually count, but you know. Maybe I give some honorary mentions and then I go into the Clockwork Dancers fight. I think that would be probably the best. Like give a few examples of fights that I really did enjoy. I'll just leave that here for now. They have a knack for putting the most annoying bosses that summon the most annoying ads and putting them in the most annoying terrain. Yeah. So was it the Beastfly? Savage Beastfly was one of them. Yeah. Boss in White Ward was one of them. Oh, this one I could say Phantom. Definitely an amazing boss. Throbio is so fun. The Sin Eater was cool as well, I think. Sin Eater was really cool. Widow was cool. But Clockwork Dancers. Arena in Act 2 for Melody. I don't remember which melody, but I think most of you who see this would remember it. the, the one that entered the two big motherfuckers? I think y'all know. So this is a thing. What else though? I could do this fucking intro as well, right? I played Silksong for about 70, for almost 80 hours. And I managed to finish Act 3. But how do I start with the saying this is gonna be a review? So here's some of the things I liked and some of the things I didn't like about the game. Maybe. Maybe this, like, getting straight to the point would be nice, right? Let me see how Charlie starts it.
Like, the most anticipated game of 2025 just came out, and the question begs to be asked, does it live up to the crazy amount of hype that it's been generating over the last handful of years? I got something in my eye. Oh boy, that's an eyelash in my eye.
I don't need to do that, but you know. One of the most anticipated games of the year. I played one of the most anticipated games of the year for almost 80 hours. I played one of the most anticipated games of the year, of the decade. Of the decade? Is it a decade? Has it been a fucking decade actually? I played one of the most anticipated games of the year for almost 80 hours, and I managed to finish Act 3. Here's some of the things I liked and didn't like about Hollow Knight Silksong. And the thing I gotta think about is, do I alternate between pros and cons? Or do I just go straight for like an entire list of pros and an entire list of cons? So what else do I have though? These are things I gotta think about. Gotta be sure. What is this Tactics soundtrack? Oh, I've never heard these songs before. Give me a bit. Spotify is loading. I still gotta think of some points though. Some talking points. What are the things I liked and didn't like about Hollow Knight Silksong? Do I say, I'm gonna preface this, I only completed 90% of the game, I didn't finish 100% of it. There might be a couple of boss fights that I missed. I didn't manage to finish Act 3. I didn't 100% the game. And there's probably a couple of boss fights that I missed. But Do I just say I 90%ed the game? I finished the game. At a 90% completion rate. Probably a couple of boss fights that I missed. But from what I've experienced, here's some of the things I liked and didn't like about Hollow Knight Silksong. Pros. I don't say pros, but I would just say like the fantastic art style. You can see the love the artists, or rather Team Cherry, you can see the love Team Cherry put into this game through most of how it's designed. But I would say general atmosphere, right? General atmosphere would probably be a better summary of it. Silksong, the world in Silksong to me feels a lot more alive than what I've seen and in the OG game. The art is amazing. Rather, I didn't think the art needed to go that hard, but it did. And I constantly found myself being amazed by the most random of things. Then maybe put the cage elevator thing in Act 2. Cage, I don't really know what this is. Like the design of that one, I think is insane. But yeah, but I don't need to put that actually. I don't think this is needed. I just maybe show some of the more complex areas with the art and shit. Man, I think that's good enough. A lot of the NPCs enhance the world. Make the world feel a lot of the NPCs. What do I say though? A lot of the NPCs. I loved a lot of the NPCs. Whereas in Hollow Knight 1, I don't really remember too many NPCs from Hollow Knight 1 that I cared about. I'm gonna be honest. The one that, I mean, there's a couple, right? There's the Zor, what's his name? The dude, the warrior dude that keeps getting captured. And there's the girl who just like spends most of the game being kind of not confident, and then towards the end, in the Queen's Garden, she sort of sacrifices herself to help you kill the mob, kill the boss. But beyond that, I don't really remember that many. Maybe I say that. I'm gonna be honest. I don't really remember too many NPCs that I cared for in Hollow Knight. But in Silksong, I mean, come on. We all love Sherma. There's chakra. There's the Garmond. There's just so many quirky characters that I feel are a lot more memorable and it might be a small thing. It might be a small thing at the end of the day, but I personally think the world building thing that improves the gaming experience as a whole, right? It's a nice world building. It's a nice way of world building that enhances the gameplay experience. Doesn't feel like something a human would say. Personally, I think it's a nice way of world building that makes the game feel more pleasant, makes the game feel I already said alive though. Maybe I don't do this. Nice way of world building that makes feel so much more alive. In general atmosphere, you can see the love Team Cherry put into this game through most of how it's designed. I didn't think the art needed to go that hard, but it did, and I constantly found myself being amazed at the most random of things. I'll be honest, I don't really remember too many NPCs that I care for in Hollow Knight. But in Silksong, I mean, come on, we all love Shirma, there's Chakra, there's Garmond and Zaza. There's so many quirky characters that I feel are a lot more memorable, and it might be a small thing at the end of the day, but I personally think it's a nice way of world building that makes the game feel so much more alive. That's a good segment. Yeah, that's pretty nice. The huge QOL improvement from would you say this is quality of life though, or is it just a better technical? I don't even know what you say. English not good. The huge quality of life improvement from original Hollow Knight. After playing the game, I can't imagine not hovering. I could go with sprinting first, right? Sprinting would be one of these as well. Not having to sprint. Not having sprint. Holy shit, there's a lot of long passageways across the entire game. There's so many long passageways across the entire game. And it makes the run back from dying to a boss a little more tolerable. So that one's done. I can remove this. Well, it's a little more tolerable. Being able to heal in midair and not stuck to the ground. Being able to heal in midair. Being able to heal wherever I wanted. Wanted instead of being glued to the ground. That's great. And hovering. I know that's more of a jump. I know that's more of a platforming mechanic, but I know that's more of a platforming mechanic. Do I bring up the Herald thing? The Herald jump quest that I did? I know that's more of a jump platforming mechanic. Instead of a quality of life thing. But I found myself using it so much. So much. In so many situations. Do I even bring this up though? Like, I feel like it's more of a mechanic than a quality of life thing. I know that's more of a platforming mechanic instead of a quality of life thing, but I found myself using it so much in so many situations that if I had to go back to the original game, I'd be so lost without it. Maybe that's something I work on. I'm not too happy about this. Maybe it's something I don't have to even mention. It's a bit too distracting. Little bit distraction. This is fine. Kinda lagging though. Okay, this is good. Chill, very nice. So that's it. Music for certain areas are insane. Favorites include Clockwork Core, The Lace Fight, and my personal favorite, Water. Who knew such a nasty ass place would have such whimsical music? How can I do to expand on it? Music for certain areas are insane. The music for certain areas are insane. Some of my favorites include the Clockwork Core. I forgot which Lace Fight, and I'll get to that when I edit. So the Lace Fight and my personal favorite, Water. Who knew? I don't want to include any more details than necessary because, you know, it's not a thing. Ooh, boss fights. What else though? I gotta think of some other points, or maybe this is enough. I don't know. I want to do detail, but like as detailed as I can make it, but not necessarily super detailed to the point where I'm losing people's brains. If people's brain cells just can't keep up or some shit. So let me think of more cons first, I guess. enemies that do 2 HP, I don't really mind as much. Maybe it's because I played Hollow Knight right before jumping directly into Silksong, but I don't think you're gonna get hit by a lot of trash mobs anyway, which is true. Like, I'm trying to think of the early part of the game, and besides the bosses, because most of the bosses do 2 damage. Trash mobs, the only one I can think of is like the big bone creature thing, and that was just like, it's not really anything. It doesn't do anything, it just charges at you. Just jump. Maybe the learning curve is a bit too steep for people who never played Hollow Knight, especially the platformer. I can see the learning curve being a bit too steep, especially if you've never played the original. I don't want to keep bringing it up. Okay, I lied. I do want to keep bringing it up. I think it's one of the biggest things I've done in gaming, I guess, just finishing Path of Pain. I say finishing, I died at the end, but you know, I still finished it. But right before starting this game, the last thing I did was finish the Path of Pain. I say finish. Yeah, sure, I died at the end, but I finished it regardless. But I consider that a done deal regardless. For people who actually, there's one point. Does it really matter if you never played the original? Because you're going into this as a brand new game and you gotta learn it anyway. And the platforming is so different that it might as well be a different game. So it might actually be a better thing for players to just hop into it new, instead of it being like, instead of developing habits that you had from the original game. So I don't know. I don't necessarily think that if you've played the original game you have a advantage. So I think that part's not necessary. Maybe it's a pro instead. I don't think you need to play In fact, there's a lot of habits you develop from playing the original, from playing Hollow Knight, that could carry over into this game, and it's more of a bad habit than anything. The last thing I did before hopping into Silksong was the Path of Pain. And platforming was so different in this game that it's the same sort of physics, I guess, but it's a different, it's diagonal, right? You start diagonal. Platforming was so different in this game that it really didn't matter. Matter if I did or not. It really didn't matter what I did. The last thing I did before hopping into Silksong was the Path of Pain, and platforming was so different in this game that it really didn't matter. There's a lot of habits you develop from playing Hollow Knight that could carry over into this game, and it's more of a bad thing than anything. More of a bad thing than anything. I feel like there's a lot of habits you develop from playing Hollow Knight that could carry over into this game, and it's more of a bad thing than anything. The last thing I did before hopping into Silksong was the Path of Pain, was finishing the Path of Pain. And platforming was so different in this game that it really didn't matter. Sure, there's fundamentals. There's the fundamentals. But people are gonna be complaining about the diagonal down attack. People who've played this game, who've played the OG, are gonna be complaining about the diagonal down attack way more than any new player. I think that's a valid point, right? I freaking love this song, dude. It's the best thing Xenoblade Zone Zero has ever made. I need more cons. I don't gotta balance it. This can be less cons, but I just need less cons. Thinking. Trying to think. Enemies that do 2 HP, I don't really mind as much. Maybe it's... I don't need this. I don't need to keep saying this. Two hit points, 2 damage. There's a lot of enemies that do 2 damage as soon as you launch the game. There's a lot of enemies that do 2 damage, and you start encountering them as... And yet, there's a lot of enemies that do 2 damage, and you start seeing them at the first area of the game, and you start seeing them right at the beginning of the game. And you start... Even at the beginning of the game, there's a lot of enemies that do 2 damage. But I don't really mind it as much. In boss fights it's different, but I don't think you're gonna get hit by a lot of those trash mobs anyway. But then I think about it, and I start thinking about the bombs that throw the mobs that throw the bombs. I think those are the worst, but that's technically not even the first area anymore. You could encounter them in the first day of gameplay, but I don't think it's I don't know, man. In boss fights it's different. I don't think you're gonna get hit by a lot of those trash mobs anyway. And I could just lead that into the annoying boss fights thing. Trash mobs anyway. This song is copyrighted. I know. Because I got copyright. It's not it doesn't block you, but it's a copyright thing. Stripped version of the previous song. Mobs anyway. In saying that, they do have a knack of putting the most annoying bosses that summon the most annoying ads and putting them in the most annoying terrain. Savage Beastfly, the second Savage Beastfly. First Savage Beastfly was annoying, but looking back at it now, I don't think it was that bad. It did take me like an hour plus, but that's because the run back was terrible. The boss in White Ward is... I just don't like that boss. The one that summons the cursed mashed potatoes, the cursed potato hits, the slinky potatoes that like jump around and then use the spears in the second phase. That one I don't like, that fight. I think it's ass. What other fights is ass? I don't mind Lugoli, the dude in Sinner's Road. I don't mind that one that much. I just killed him in one go. I can't really think of any other bosses. Maybe there are, but there's just... It's annoying, but it's not necessarily too difficult. For these fights are just annoying for the sake of being annoying. Especially the arena in Act 2. I think that one was just... Why? That fight exists to just piss people off. It was a fight that's designed to... Like, at that point you should be using your tools, right? It was one of the first fights where I was forced to use my tools. And I had to learn how important tools were. Because before I was just mostly brute forcing everything. I don't think they do a good job in teaching you how to use the tools though. Maybe one thing in the game. But that's the same with the first game as well. First game they don't really tell you anything. You just dive right in. And I think that is a detrimental experience for a lot of gamers. For people who have played this genre, I think they don't mind it as much. But for me, when the only reason I enjoyed Silksong from the start is because I've played Hollow Knight. I know what's up. I know what to do. I know how to use the markers and everything. A lot of people who play Silksong, they might not necessarily know how to even use the markers. So I don't know if that's a talking point that I need to bring up. But maybe towards the end I could even mention that if you want to use a mod to make it easier, then fucking do it. Like, who cares? It's a single player game. Like, who's gonna give a shit about how much your the length of your e-penis is gonna be. It's because you finished the game. No, I don't think anyone cares. Let's play the game how you want to enjoy it, right? So maybe that's the end. That's like my outro. One thing I really didn't like was how they overused the arena style combat. That one's just a preference thing. Almost every area had at least a couple of these fights where, as in the original Hollow Knight, it only started showing up towards the end, from Fall Canyon onwards, or in the Colosseum. The fights weren't always weren't necessarily annoying. It just felt really repetitive. The kind of content that could be cut from the game. You could cut a good 30% of those fights from the game, and I don't think it'll change much of how people feel towards it. Maybe. You could cut a good 30% of those fights from the game. I don't think half. Half might be maybe that's not a good way to put it. Really repetitive. It just feels like it's filler. Like the filler arc of an anime to keep you occupied, when in reality you just wanna get to the main point. Maybe that's a better way of putting it. The fights weren't necessarily annoying, it just felt really repetitive. It just feels like the filler arc of an anime to keep you occupied, when in reality you just want to get to the main point. Right? I think that makes sense to me. So, I think I'm more points though. More cons at least. What is another bad thing that I didn't like about the game? I think Act 3 was really cool, and I liked most of the fights in Act 3. Annoying terrain. And for me personally, those are the kinds of fights that even when I beat him, it still felt like a time waster. I don't feel that sense of accomplishment. I don't find it enjoyable. And enjoyable, and I don't feel that sense of accomplishment. Maybe. That's just 2 points though. Trying to think of any other parts that maybe I bring up the is a lack of a tutorial actually a con? I don't think a game necessarily needs tutorials. They don't do a good job in teaching you how to use tools. The mechanics they do, like you immediately need to use the mechanics to get out of the situations after you get those mechanics. The double jumps, the hook, the link, what do you call it? Claw line, the wall climbing thing, all of those things. You use it immediately. But what I mean are the tools. So, but I don't think that's necessarily a complaint though. That's like a use it, try it out. If you don't, then you don't. I feel like that's more of a thing than so I don't necessarily think it's a valid complaint. I'm not gonna complain about 100%ing the game. That's not it's not my thing. Even all the achievements and everything, I'm not someone who looks at those things. I'm just looking at it from the perspective of someone who's finished the game and just talking about how I feel. Maybe outro, I'll just work on the outro. If game is do I rate it? Do I rate it? I could just integrate it, right? Not integrate, intertwine. Like if I talk about a cool boss fights, I could bring up the cons instead of keeping it separate. Or would it make sense to keep all of it separate? I don't know. Depends on how the flow of this video works, really. But I still gotta think about it though. Too much water. I apologize. There's always the fundamentals. People all played the OG are gonna be complaining about the diagonal down attack way more than any new player. Even at the beginning of the game, there's a lot of enemies that do 2 damage, but I don't really mind as much. In boss fights, it's different, but I don't think you're gonna get hit by a lot of those trash mobs anyway. In saying that, they do have a knack for putting the most annoying bosses that summon the most annoying ads and putting them in the most annoying terrain. There's the Savage Beastfly, second fight. Boss in White Ward. And do I think it is a stopping point for a lot of people because they can't get through it? I don't know. I'm not gonna say for certain, but I think a lot of people are gonna get stuck in that place, and it might get too frustrating for them to make it through. But I can't say for sure, so I don't want to say it. Because I think that arena is probably one of the toughest fights in the game. Of course, there's Act 3, you know, so... Maybe I do a separate part for Act 3. And I think it would make more sense. Because I don't say anything about Act 3 anyway, right? Because I do feel like the final boss in Act 2 is a bit underwhelming. I think Lace is more of a final boss than the Grandmother Silk. Grandmother Silk is way too easy. It took me a lot longer to beat Lace than it took me to beat Grandmother Silk. So yeah. Maybe I do Act 3. I might be in the minority. I might be in the minority of the player base when I say the final boss of Act 2 felt underwhelming. I had a harder time fighting Lace than I did Grandmother Silk. And the ending cutscene felt unsatisfactory as well. Which is why I'm glad I did everything necessary to get to Act 3. Because holy shit, Act 3 was amazing. For me, I think that's where the story picks up a lot more. And the fights, and there were so many boss fights that don't feel annoying, even if it took me hours to beat. I don't think there's a lot of arenas as well, right? The first thing you see is an arena. Literally, the first thing you see in Act 3 is like an arena fight. But I don't think they actually use a lot of that in Act 3. You see like maybe a handful of it. A handful if you don't include the boss that had like 5 stages of it. But I don't think there's a lot of that. That's where the story picks up a lot more, and there were so many boss fights that don't feel annoying. And there were so many boss fights. So many insanely cool boss fights. That even if it took me hours to beat, I never felt like it dragged. Compared to some of the previous compared to some of the annoying fights. Annoying fights I mentioned before. Hey, how are you doing? Can you see my message? Yep, I can. How are you doing? Hope you're doing well. I'm just writing, so I'm like not super paying attention to anything. Yeah, I hope you're doing good. Feeling that that's a bot though. Not a bot, but a freaking graphic artist. I think that's a graphic artist thing. Whenever they enter your chat, the first thing they'll do is how are you doing, and they'll tag you. Every graphic artist does that. I don't know why. It's ingrained into their data. There's a lot more insanely cool boss fights that even if it took me hours to beat, it never felt like a drag compared to some of the more annoying fights I mentioned before. Then luckily they just leave instantly though. Like if you don't reply to them within like a minute, they'll just leave. I think that's great. Okay. Any cool boss fights that even if it took me hours to beat, never felt like a drag compared to some of the annoying fights I mentioned before. Without a doubt, the hardest boss fights in the game is the final boss. Do I mention it? I don't know. But I'm gonna show it anyway, so it really doesn't matter. There were annoying aspects about it. There were annoying aspects about it. That shit took me damn near 5 hours. There were a lot of annoying aspects about it. Like how she could just poof in and out existence and literally spawn right under Hornet's skirt and do 2 touch damage every single time. But come on, it's the final boss. It's supposed to be difficult. And the ending cut scene we got for Act 3 was so much more satisfying than any other ending. Maybe besides the Parasite one, because that one's pretty cool. Okay, that done. Actually done. Overall, I feel Hollow Knight Silksong is not a perfect game by any means. But what is? I think it's a worthy successor? Is that a thing people say? It's a worthy sequel. It's a sequel that deserves. It's a sequel that's worthy of the name Hollow Knight. I think it's a fantastic sequel. Sequel to a legendary game. That was well worth the near decade long wait that a lot of its loyal players waited for. The near decade. Well worth the. Let me check how long. How long did when was Hollow Knight launched? It was in 2017, right? 2017. 8 years. 9 years. 9 years. 9.5 years, actually. Yeah, 9.5 years. I think it's a fantastic sequel to a legendary game that was well worth the near decade-long wait. That a lot of its loyal players I say waited for. Well worth the 10 years, 9.5 years, near 10 years, 10 years that a lot of its loyal players waited for. Fantastic sequel to a legendary game that was well worth the nearly 10 years that a lot of its loyal players waited for. Nice. I think that's good. If I had to give this game a rating, I am by no means a professional, nor am I a good gamer according to some people, nor do I proclaim to be a good gamer. But if that's not something I should say though. I'm not a professional reviewer. But if I had to give this game a rating, it'd be a solid 8.2. I liked it a lot. I wouldn't say I loved it. It is really hard for me to say I love a game though. But that's just a personal thing. I love Final Fantasy X. I loved Expedition 33. I didn't love Hollow Knight. I liked Hollow Knight a lot. I like Silksong a lot. So, just to say love, for me that's a different category of games. What other games do I love? I loved Resident Evil 4 OG. I got really motion sick playing it, but still freaking loved it. But yeah. I can maybe mention. Played one of the most anticipated games of the year for almost 80 hours, and I managed to finish Act 3. Most anticipated games of the year. Played one of the most anticipated games of the year to the point where it crashed Steam on launch. Do I mention that? I don't think I need to. I think people who know that already. The game. A solid 8.2. Yeah, I don't think there's much else for me to add about it, really. If the game is too hard and you feel the need to use the easy mode mods, I don't see a problem with it. It's a single player game, and you paid for that with your own money. Who cares how you play it, as long as you're the one enjoying it. But is that my outro? What is my outro? It'll be something like thank you guys for watching and stuff like that. Look, if the game's too hard and you feel the need to use the easy mode mods, I don't see a problem with it. If it's a single player game and you pay for that with your own money, who cares how you gotta play it as long as you're the one enjoying it? Who cares how you play it as long as you're the one enjoying it? And it'll be the thank you guys for watching. I'll just try it out. Thank you guys for watching. This is the first game review I've ever done, and there will be a lot more coming in the future when I finish more games that I've never played. Games than I ever. When I finish more games that I've never played. You guys enjoy it. I also stream here as well as on Twitch. It'll be really helpful if you guys could drop me a sub here or a follow on Twitch, whichever platform you prefer. I think that's it. Alright, thanks. That's it. I think that's a really nice, comprehensive review of things that I could think about off the top of my head. And I think I covered it pretty much. The things that I like and the things I didn't like. I gotta think about how I structure the shit though. There's gotta be like a Hopefully I don't take 20 minutes filming this shit. That's gonna be fun. But yeah, this is how I would script a review, I guess. And editing it is an entirely different thing. Of course, you gotta include like the game footage as well. A lot of things I'm talking about. But just scripting it out, this could be longer though. I don't know what else to say about it. The music for certain areas are insane. Some of the favorites include the Clockwork Core, give example, the Lace Fight, give example, and my personal favorite, Biowatcher, give example. When you use the jazz players have such whimsical music, but I don't think I need to expand on the music really. It's just what I prefer and what I think is cool. And there's not much else I need to say about it. Cool boss fights, I think it might be a good idea for me to transition this part. Not transition, but like intertwine this part where I say like give a list of some of the cool boss fights and then have the cons. Because there's stuff I really don't like about some of the fights in the game. And yeah, I don't know, man. Alright, I'll record this fast, I guess. Do I record it now? No. I'll refine the script a little bit more in case I have more stuff I want to talk about. But I'll do the Silksong boss tier list. I'll do a tier list. Look at a proper Silksong boss tier list. I find anyone that's good. Oh. Where is this tier list? Can I... Can I do my own tier list? Is it not? I've never used the tier list website, so I don't know how you actually do it. I'm not gonna do the tools one because I barely use any tools. I'm gonna be real. Some of these are not even bought. Ah. I'm looking up a... Looking up a proper boss tier list. Silksong, blah, blah, blah. Do I rank it from easy to hard? I think I rank it from epic to not epic. I think that's the thing. Remix this list? What is remix this list? How do I get everything? Is there not a reset function? Can I not just... I want it with names though. Look, this one's good. I want this tier list. Can I have this tier list? Tier list is so nice. I don't want to do that. What is Undual? This tier list is so good. Undual tier list. Silksong. Bosses difficulty. Like, is this just like a purely voted one? And I can't edit my own? Well, that sucks. Guess I'll just use this. But I gotta... Some boss's name labeled. Ooh. Is it all of it? How many bosses is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I don't know if it's all of them. But sure. I'll see if there's another one that's good. Silksong. Some bosses. That's not good. Some bosses. That's not good. Enemy tier list. Every enemy? No, I ain't doing that. Holy shit. There's some boss fight. How are these boss fights? Some of these are not boss fights. All bosses. This might be nice. Some of them I can't see shit though. What about this? Have I even seen some? I legit do not remember some of these. What is the pale stack? Oh. Well. Haven't seen it. So okay. Okay, did not fight. epic. Average. It'll be annoying. Not fun. Maybe I remove this tier. Annoying. But fun? I don't think that's a good... Kind of fun? Not fun could be this. The elite from game. Maybe these are the criteria. Maybe this is a good one. But yeah. Gonna do this, I guess. I think this works. This criteria is fine. Okay, Moss Mother, first boss, I don't think it's anything fun, epic, not fun. I'll put eh. Eh should be in. It's the first boss. It really doesn't matter so much. Lace, the first fight was pretty cool. It's the first time you ever see her mechanics as well, and it was in the cauldron area. I don't remember what name it is, but it is one of the first fights where you get to experience like a faster paced combat. So I think that's really dope. And it's the first encounter as well, so you know, kind of historic, I guess. The Bell Beast. Bell Beast had some mechanics that were fun, so I think it's alright. It is also one of the first bosses that you fight in the game, just to unlock the Bell Station, of course. The Bell mechanics and everything I think are pretty alright. They're not too difficult, they are cool. So it's not an annoying fight. It's alright. I would say it's fun. It's not eh, but it's fun. If I had to, I would lower it. Fourth chorus is that boss around the magma area, and I think that was pretty cool. Rank it above the Bell Beast, because you will literally use... You could just kill it outright. You could just kill it outright, but you could also use the newly gained hover mechanic that you got, like the Drifter's Cloak, to like smash the thing above its head after a certain period, and you kill it that way. And that's nice. That teaches you how to use the mechanics fully. More of a tutorial, I guess. It's not a difficult boss, really. It's a boss that does 2 damage and shit, but you know, it is what it is. Most bosses do 2 damage anyway. I think it's cool. Savage Beast Fly. Do they do the second part? I don't see a second one anywhere. They don't. Yeah, what? They don't put the second Savage Beast Fly in this fight? El Tyrant is eh. I don't think that's a boss at all. So, Savage Beast Fly. Delete from game. Especially the second one. Since they didn't split this, I would have to say I am mostly referring to the second Savage Beast Fly fight. The first one, the most annoying thing, when you get the crests. I forgot which. The Beast Crest. The first fight is when you... The first time you encounter this is in the Beast Crest place. And the most annoying part about that fight is just the run back. Every time you die to it, it's a run back. It summons units, it summons the flying units, it summons the ground units. That's fine. That's whatever. For me, the strategy was to just kill the ads. You kill the ads, it's a lot easier. You don't have to care about the ads doing damage to you. It does 2 damage, but its mechanics are pretty standard. It is pretty standard in the second time you meet it as well, right where the 4th chorus was. However, it spawns units that fly around and spew fireballs at your face that does 2 damage, along with itself that does 2 damage, and I think that fucking sucks. So delete it from the game, please. Just fuck this boss. Sister Splinter, I think, is the one that hurls stuff at you from above, right? I have to make sure. Sister Splinter. I think it is. The one where you have a platform to hide under. Yeah, it is. Okay, it's the one that just spews stuff from you. It's nothing. You just hide under the platform and you jump out to attack it when you can. That's the whole mechanic of this. I think it doesn't really do anything else, so I think it's eh. Widow, fucking epic. Fucking epic. It is the first boss fight in the game with a second phase. And it's cool. It is just pretty fucking cool. It's a cool fight. It's not super difficult. It does mechanics that it's a reoccurring thing. I think a lot of the cool fights, those boss units share some mechanics in some ways. It's just animated differently, has a different pattern maybe, but I think it's most of them kind of have like a same-ish style of attacking. It does this thing where it slides across the map, and a lot of bosses have that, but I still think it's very cool. It is the boss in the Bellheart, a story boss that you have to go through, and it is responsible for why the people in the Bellheart are dangling on the strings. So one of the first extremely cool boss fights in the game. I think is very nice. Phantom, come on. Phantom is like top 3 for me. It is the boss in the Mist, an area that you could very well miss. No pun intended. But an area that has no map apparently. I finished the area. I went to look for, like, to see if there's a map, but I googled it and it says there's no map for the Mist, so it's a missable. It's the missable place. But the Phantom, lore-wise, if you don't want to be spoiled, she's Lace's sister. So I think it's a really cool fight. The way the fight was introduced as well, she was just playing the organ. It's like a freaking full-on Castlevania introduction. It's cool as shit. So one of the coolest boss fights in the game for me. Morwing. Morwing was the boss in Greymore, right? The one at the bottom of Greymore? I don't remember it that much. So if I don't remember it that much, I don't think it does anything too special. The great conch flies are the one that digs in a direction. I think it's cool because it's a combo, right? It's a combo. I think it's cool. It does like tandem attacks. Digs in 2 directions. So I think that's fine. That's cool. I think it's cooler than Belvy's. Not super memorable, but I think it's relatively cool. Last Judge is very cool. Last Judge is the final boss of Act 2. No, it's the final boss of Act 1. is how you get into the Citadel. This is literally one of the first major hurdles that you get in the game, besides Widow, I guess. So this boss took me 2+ hours? 2 hours, around 2 hours. There is a phase 3, if you could even count it as phase 3. It just does a different variant of his attack. The fire thing, the fire circle thing, instead of it being once, he just does it constantly and you gotta avoid all of it. And I know a lot of people, the way they do this boss is they just equip the fastest weapon they have. They'll use the flint and they'll use the flea piss and just spam attacks on it until it dies. That's one way to approach it, I guess. But I think this boss is pretty damn cool. Clockwork Dancers, without a doubt, for me, the coolest bosses in the game. The coolest boss fight in the game. Tandem Dancers. There's 4 phases. If you would count the 4th as a 4th phase, technically it isn't. It's just a put him out of its misery kind of phase. But Clockwork Dancers to me is the coolest boss fight in the game. The music is cool as hell. It's kind of like a dollhouse-ish, music box-ish / circus-ish vibe. So the mechanics, not super difficult. The mechanics are not difficult at all. It's just them moving simultaneously, and on the second phase they start moving individually. Just dodge it. You just dodge it. They do the same things. So it's a very, very, very cool fight. Very creative. Extremely creative. And towards the end you just get kind of sad because like one of them, you eventually kill one of them and they lose their dancing partner, and then you see them like going for the dual attack, and it's just like one of them floating there. It's like, oh. And the Green Prince shows up towards the end, and you know, it tells you the backstory of it, and you're like, oh. So that for me, literally the best boss fight in the game. I don't think anything beats it. Yeah, I think it is cool as shit. Trobio! I like Trobio. I really do like Trobio. Trobio is... This fight is what I call the Chinese New Year fight, because it's just full of fireworks. I do have a qualm with this fight, in that it fucks up your eyes, man. There's so much stuff that just fucks up your eyes. But I think it's a really cool fight. It's a fast-paced fight, as per usual. Most of the fights that you would see that I put on Epic are fast-paced. Last Judge, I wouldn't say he or she is fast, but it's still a cool fight. Cygnus and Gron, I think they're just mobs. I don't think they're bosses. A lot of these are just like the first time you see these mobs and they're treated as bosses, or like final enemies in an arena type map, I guess. But I don't necessarily think it's a boss fight. Girl. Fuck this guy, dude. Fuck this guy. Fuck this guy, dude. This boss is the boss in Bilewater, and you have to defeat it to get to Act 3, because after this boss you get the one of the items necessary. I don't remember one of the items necessary. I don't remember the name of it, but yeah, you gotta kill this boss. The problem with this boss is that Bilewater's bench is so far away, and it is a hidden bench. The actual bench that's on the map, that's fake shit. That's fake news. Don't get baited by that. The actual bench is pretty far away. The run back is pretty far away. The arena style map that you gotta go through to get to the boss fight is annoying. Every time you gotta restart it. I know there's ways to cheese it. Some people use the vor strat. I think that's insane. The creativity some people have to like get through these boss fights is insane to me. I spent about 3 hours on this boss fight and I don't think it is worth it at all. Fortunately for me, it is a necessary boss to get to Act 3. Going into this boss, I didn't know it was. And after finishing it and realizing, so it was necessary, I'm glad I beat it. I'm glad it actually has a use. But still, fuck this boss. Because fuck this area. Even though I love the music of this area is nasty. This area has ninjas. This area has big motherfuckers. And this area has this guy. So, delete it from the game. The Unraveled. Delete it from the game. This is one of my prime examples. Whenever I say a boss fight is annoying. Whenever I say some like, oh, this is just a big motherfucker in the small map. And this spawns as that do 2 damage. Everything it does 2 damage. This is one of the prime examples. It is the boss in a white ward. You gotta need the key. You unlock the thing. You drop down into like a garbage disposal area, whatever it is. For whatever reason, this boss has telekinesis as well. To the point where it controls spears in its second phase. And before you fight him, you gotta fight through the silk masked enemies and the slinky potato motherfuckers. And those are fine. Whatever, those are fine. But this boss itself, you can't jump attack it. Most of its mechanics is based on just him dashing left to right or him spewing corpses at you. Corpses do 1 damage, you touch him, you get 2 damage. The spears, if you touch the tips of the spears, you get 2 damage. So this is not a fun fight for me. I do not enjoy fights like this, where it's just big motherfucker in small spaces. This Great Chef Lugoli, I don't care for this boss that much. I one-shotted it. It's in Putrefied. No, it's in Sinner's Road. It's the chef in Sinner's Road. If you equip the Parasite charm, that makes it a lot easier. I don't even think I equipped the charm when I fought it. Maybe I did, I don't remember. But relatively easy boss. I don't remember much of his mechanics. I don't think it was that difficult of a fight. Maybe some of you struggle with it, I don't know. But I think it's an eh. Because it's nothing really fun. Nothing really memorable about it. First Sinner was really cool. Where would I put it though? I think it's cooler than Last Judge. First Sinner, there's lore to this boss. It is the boss found in the Schlab, I think. If I'm not wrong, because I do have goldfish memory. So it might kick in full effect. I don't know. The First Sinner is the boss that you... After you get the map, it's part of the temple thing. You enter the arena, you fight her. And apparently she is Hornet's mom. She's Hera from the first game. I don't know, I don't remember if that's the case. I don't know if that's the case. Maybe it is. Maybe I'm remembering wrong. Might be. But I think she is. And she is fast. It took me quite a few tries. Not necessarily as long as some of the other bosses, but 40 minutes, 30-40 minutes took me to down this boss, and I think it was relatively cool. What is the Kraggler? What is the Kraggler? Kraggler. Don't remember. Wait, the Craggler is the one that spews the acid. If the Craggler is the one that spews the acid, then what is the Sister Splinter? Wait. What is Sister Splinter? Sister Splinter is the one that just hits you from above, right? I think so. Okay, so my bad. Forget what I said. Sister Splinter is just like the bitch that dangles from above and it just like tries to hit you all the time. So I think it's eh. It doesn't change my rating. I think it's eh. I don't think she's particularly memorable at all. Same goes with the Craggler. The Craggler was the one that I thought was the Sister Splinter. The one that spews acid from above. And there's a platform, you hide underneath it, and once it's done with the poison attack, once it's done spewing acid, you just hop up and just up attack it. So it's not a fight that's super hard, it's not a fight that's super memorable, it's just a fight that exists. So for me, it's eh. Father of the Flame, I think it's the Mist. Once you enter the Mist, the first boss you see is this guy. Is it the Mist? It's the part above. It's not the Mist. Is it the Mist? No, it's the part above Greymore. I don't know what that place is called, but it's the place with like all the fire mobs and everything. And towards the end you get like a fractured metal that you can get tools with. But I don't remember the name of that place. But yeah, this is the boss where you just bounce. You just pogo it to death. That's pretty much this boss. He spawns ads as well, and the ads, you use them to pogo as well. The ads will throw fire, I think, if I don't remember wrong, if I'm not remembering wrong. Just dodge and pogo, and that's pretty much this boss. I think it's alright. It's not super fun. I would say it's at the bottom of fun for sure, but it's not eh. I still say it's memorable. But yeah, Carmelita. Carmelita, top 3 for me. If it's not for the clockwork dancers, I think Carmelita would be number 1. Carmelita is amazing. It's an amazing fight. I think Carmelita is spelled with a K, but it's whatever. She was the first boss I fought in Act 3. Cause I was looking up like what places to use the up dash on, and I was closest to the freaking statue on Farfields, and apparently this was the first boss that I didn't even know was a boss that I need to fight. So going into this fight, just the acapella, the music being acapella. She was singing, you were walking towards it, then you hit the arena, and then you see the arena, and then you fucking challenge, and then oh my god. Then the boss, the music builds in the fight as well. You go through the arena fight, that's fine, that part's relatively easy. I don't really mind that as much. You go through that one, and then you hit the boss itself, and then the music goes full orchestral, and it's like, oh shit. Then the boss fight itself was really cool. She kinda does similar things to Tropio. I don't know if it's because she's red, or I'm racist, I don't know, but she does similar things to Tropio. So having fought Tropio before, I think it makes the fight slightly easier. Doesn't make it any less harder overall though, because that boss took me 2 hours. I had to repeatedly change my tools just to see which ones worked. And when I finally got it down, I'm like, this is the kind of fight that makes this game so satisfying. Regardless of how difficult it is the kind of fight that once you get past it, you're like, shit, that was fun. That wasn't a waste of time. That wasn't Grohl. That wasn't The Unraveled. It was a fucking Savage Beast fight of fucking bitches. I think that this is one of the coolest boss fights in the game, with one of the coolest OSTs, which I should also note down because Carmelita. So yeah, Carmelita's OST was amazing. Wanna listen to it? Volt Worm was it's just on the electric part of the map. I forgot which area it was, but there's just like a... Was it Memoriam? I don't know, but it's like purple. It's very purple. So you gotta like jump through a lot of the electrical parts of... It's either Memoriam or the upper part of Blasted Steps, which I also forgot the name of. It's one of those things. I think you... What was that place? I have to Google it. Sands of Karak. Yeah, it was... Yeah, I think it was in the Sands of Karak. There was a door that you can enter, and this was the boss. It's pretty much like an electric area, and the whole place is like purple. And you get towards the end, and you get to this boss. It wasn't that difficult of a boss. I wouldn't say it's fun, but I wouldn't say it's either. So I'll put it towards the end of fun. Not super memorable though. Easily missable. You kill this boss, I think what you get is your attacks being charged with electricity. Turns purple as well. This is pretty cool. So, aesthetics. Pure aesthetics fight, I guess. Raging Conchfly? What is the Raging Conchfly? What is Raging Conchfly? This is gonna get me copyrighted. Don't do that. What is Raging Conchfly? Isn't the Raging Conchfly just another... It's just a mob, bro. It's a mob. It's nothing. It's the first time you see the big ass Conchfly, and I don't think it's anything special. It just does the pinball thing. Just you can deflect the thing as well, so it doesn't matter. Second Sentinel, never fought him. I did res it with the Clockwork Heart, but I didn't see it, so I don't know where it was, and I didn't know you could fight it. Root Mother was It's the boss at the fly place, the boss in the slab. I don't really think it was anything. It's just an arena, and then you fight the boss, so it's like typical Most of these I think are just typical It's not anything important. Bell Eater was fun. I would put it in the same category as Belby's because it kind of does the same thing. It's the first boss you encounter in Act 3. If you go to a Belby station, and the only boss in the game that exposes his butthole towards you for whatever reason. when you fight it, you either hit the head or you hit the asshole. Either or. I think it's alright. Plasmify Zango never fought, didn't even revisit him in Act 3. I think this happens in Act 3, so didn't even see him, to be honest. I didn't go back to the worm place. So I never really used the thing as well. Never really used his tool as well, so never really found a need to ever go back to that place. Tormented Trobio, same rank as Trobio. I found Tormented Trobio a lot easier than regular Trobio. Took me like either 1 or 2 tries just to beat him. His attacks are largely the same. It's purple. And that's just it. It's bigger. That's it. It's not that much harder, to be honest. So I think it's fine. Cross King Khan is pretty cool. Yeah. The arena leading up to him was alright. I don't think it's that hard. You can use the terrains to kill the mobs as well, which I think are pretty cool. The really cool thing about this fight is that it is a pure mage fight. You are 1v1ing a mage. I don't think any other fights in the game does this. If you consider Trobio to be like a mage class or whatever, that's fine. It still does this thing where it tries to approach you though. Like it has a distance closer. Khan tries his best to avoid you. Every time he jumps, he's gonna jump back. So he doesn't do melee attacks. He does like casting, full straight line or diagonal attacks or whatever. He does those things. And I think that's a pretty cool concept of this fight. That is unique to a lot of the other ones. Trying Guardian Seth. Cooler than Trobio. You're fighting Captain America. What's cooler than that, man? Come on. Having fought this boss, I did find out that this boss was based on one of the Kickstarter fans who lost their life before Silksong came out, and it is a really nice tribute, especially considering I did go back to Fleetopia after fighting this boss, like off stream, and then you freaking see him. He beats all your scores. He owns you. My hard work just gone in an instant, in the blink of an eye. Nylith is the flower that he was protecting, and I think it's cool. Was it epic? I think it was fun, but not epic. Epic is... it's close. I would say she's on top of fun, more than being on bottom of epic. It was the only fight in the game where you needed to rely on wall climb, and I think having the Ascendant script did a lot of work. So you go not be sliding around on the walls and shit. So that made this fight a lot easier for me. It is mostly just you're waiting for her to dash across the map, then you bounce on it, and then she dies, and that's pretty much it. I think the Seth fight is a lot cooler, but I don't think this fight is half as bad. I think this is cool. The projectiles have a big hitbox, a bigger hitbox than it seems, so that's fine, whatever. Fucking OST uses the same fight as uses the same music as Seth anyway, so this doesn't matter as much. Pale Stack didn't fight. Clover Dancers didn't fight. I didn't hit Lost Verdania. I didn't go there, unfortunately. And it might be something I do a bit later on when I have time, when I don't gotta edit that much. It's just something, if I ever want 100% it, I'll do it at my own time. Lost Garmond, Probably the saddest. One of the saddest, I don't know. Coward Dancers might be a bit sadder, but I think Lost Garmond is a very sad boss fight. Not particularly hard. It uses a lot of the mechanics that you see the void infused enemies do. They spew the things and it turns into a Beyblade. Stuff like that. But fighting this boss is sad though. I was off stream when I did this quest and I saw this dude for the first time. This dude was one of the first NPCs that like actually had a personality, right, in the game. You see him and you see Zaza and they're like knights in Greymore just like fighting their way through shit. And eventually, yeah, he gets corrupted by the void, which is unfortunate. And you gotta kill him. You gotta put him down. And Zaza stays by his side at the end as well, which is fucking sad. Reminds me of Futurama, the dog. Just like waiting for Fly the whole time until it dies. It's sad shit, man. So it is sad. The boss fight wasn't particularly hard. Like I said, it's just void infused attacks. Pinstress was a cool fight as well. Pinstress, I think, yeah. You get her quest. You go to her place at the Blasted Steps towards the left side. And she's on top of Mount Fae. Which you can use a crystal dash just to get up there. Boss fight wasn't particularly hard. She is annoying though. She just keeps floating around. But I think it's a cool fight. It's another fast-paced fight. Not particularly memorable, but just fun to fight. It was a fun fight. Actually, in that case, I should have just put it here. I think it's a fun fight. I don't think it's a... there's nothing that stands out for me that makes it super epic. It's just fun. Same thing, I could say the same thing for Lost Garmond, but Garmond is like special, right? He's an NPC that you meet that many times and you form like a bond with him, and he dies and it's sad and it's like you don't want to, you know. I do not know what this is. Who is Gur the Outcast? Where was he? Oh, it's one of the first bosses that you see? Actually, no, he's in Act 3. I didn't fight him. He's in Farfields? Wait, I did fight him. I need to see images of him though. I did. Oh, he's the guy that does the thing and it opens and shit. Yeah, I fought him. He's I wouldn't. He's at bottom of fun. I wouldn't put him an because he's an Act 3 boss, and I think most Act 3 bosses are actually fun. It's fun to epic. I wouldn't say he's particularly memorable. He's just someone you encounter when you want to go across the far fields. That's pretty much it with this one. So I don't think he's that memorable, but I don't think his mechanics are anything to about. So, you know, most of these are here for a reason. I think their mechanics are not memorable. I think they just do either one thing or they're enhanced versions of regular mobs that you see. That's pretty much it. Yeah. So Lost Lace. Oh my fucking god, Lost Lace. Lost Lace took me 5 hours. And, you know, it do be what it do be. Because she is the final boss of the game, she's gotta be difficult. She took me 5 hours. And I think she was epic. I don't think she was the best boss in the game. Because there was a lot of annoying points to fighting her. Like the touch damage. The touch damage is insane. Every time you touch her is 2 damage. Everything she does is 2 damage. Nothing she does is 1 damage. So you know, she could disappear and she could pop up right underneath Hornet's skirt and you eat 2 damage. That's pretty much it. Everything she does, 2 damage. He parries you. The parry is easily dodgeable. The most difficult thing is just the touch damage. She spawns a lot of projectiles. She spawns a lot of shit on the floor. She spawns tidal waves. She does everything. But the most annoying thing is just the touch damage. That's pretty much it. It took me 5 hours to beat her. And I'ma be honest. I was 2+ hours in. And I found out that she had a phase 2. And I'm like, can I even fucking beat her? I had my doubts, man. I was starting to doubt myself. I'm like, I'm hungry, I'm tired, I didn't sleep. It was almost nighttime, I was gonna go eat dinner, then edit videos. I'm like, do I freaking beat her? Can I freaking beat her? Took another 2 hours. Then I beat her. And I ended the game. And I think it was as unfun as some parts of the fight was, especially due to the touch damage as I mentioned. I still think it was worth it. And it's appropriate that One Winged Angel is playing in the background because holy shit, she is the final boss. Worth finishing the game, worth ending her, and just getting that last cutscene to see Ghost. It's pretty cool. It's pretty lovely. Lovely way to end the game, and then the freaking mushroom popped out and I'm like, what the fuck? Watcher at the Edge. I do not remember this dude. Oh, my nose. I do not remember this dude. What is it a memento thing? I have never seen this dude. I might have, but I don't remember. So if I don't, I'm just gonna put it here because I don't remember. Apparently, you gotta use the Silk Sword to reach him. I don't remember that as much. Crawfather is the final boss in the Greymore area where you gotta use the. You get a message from the crows. I got it at Bellheart, and yeah, that's like the start of the quest. You get a gauntlet thing, you kill all the crows, and he's like the final boss. I don't think he's that difficult. I finished it in like first or second run. I don't really even remember him that much. I just remember where he was. I just remember the story leading up to him. I just don't remember his fight. I don't even remember what he does. But that's pretty much it for that. What is the summoned savior? What is the summoned savior? Steel Soul mode? Hell no. I heard he was difficult though, but I mean I don't play Steel Soul mode, so that's pretty much it. Chakra, I have never fought. Garmond, I've never fought. I didn't even know you can fight these two. I fought Lost Garmond, I didn't fight the regular version of him. I didn't know there was even a place where you could fight these two. So, oh my nose. Oh my nose. No feel good. I think I'm coming down with a cold or a fever. But it's fine. We're almost done. Grandmother Silk. The final boss of most people's Silksong run. Because ain't nobody got time for Act 3 apparently. That's fine. I think Act 3, if you could afford the time to go to Act 3 is very worth it. All the boss fights in Act 3 are cool. The ending in Act 3 is a lot better than the ending of Act 2. I don't think the regular ending of Act 2 did anything for me. I just found it underwhelming. Just like the boss. She is very underwhelming for the boss that most people are gonna be fighting in as their final boss. I'll put it below Trobio. She took me a few tries, yeah, but I still found the second Lace fight to be... Well, they don't have a second Lace. So if we're considering Lace, the Lace before Grandmother Silk, I would put her to be here. Sorry for sniffling. My nose is just congested right now. Okay, so without counting the first Lace battle that you find in the Cauldron area, I don't remember what area that's called, but without counting that one, this is the Act 2 version of the fight. I think this version is a lot better than the actual final boss, which is the Grandmother Silk. A lot harder as well. She moves very fast. A lot of her moves are similar to the first encounter you see. She's just that much faster. You're fighting her in like a Super Mario Bros. You're fighting her in a Smash Bros stage. It's just one singular platform. You could hop onto the side, but she follows you as well. She can jump on walls as well. I didn't know that. That's how one of my deaths happened. But it is what it is. I think this fight is a lot cooler than the Grandmother Silk. Grandmother Silk, it's mostly just up attack, 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 dodge, up attack, up attack. Oh, strings all over the map. Find a hole. Up attack, up attack, up. That's pretty much it. That's the entire fight. And then she spawns spikes on the ground. Just whatever. But yeah, that's my tier list, I guess. I found Grandmother Silk to be not difficult and a bit underwhelming. I found Lace to be a lot harder. The second Lace fight to be a lot harder. Lost Lace, of course, is literally the hardest fight in the game. But the two coolest fights for me, of course, is the Clockwork Dancers and Carmelita. Both for the OST playing in the background, as well as the mechanics that you have in a fight, as well as the implications of the fight for Clockwork Dancers. It's like, it's so sad. It's so sad. And I like sad shit. The Green Prince showing up at the end to tell you the lore of the Clockwork Dancers. Like, man, as well as the fourth phase where they go in for the duo attack and then just like one of them is like floating there. It's like sad, and you gotta put him out of his misery. Yeah, it's sad. But yeah, this is my Silksong boss tier list. There's a lot more bosses that I didn't hit that I thought, and only one of these would be possible, because I do remember saving this dude. I remember using the Cockheart pieces on his body, but then I don't know where he pops up in Act 3. Never went back to the worm place because I never needed the blue potion tool. Never went to Los Verdania, unfortunately, and that's probably one of the things I would do if I were to 100% it. Don't know where this guy was. Never touching Steel Soul. Didn't know you could fight these two. That's pretty much it. Everything else is eh. If they are delete from the game, I absolutely hated these fights. If they are in eh, it's mostly because they are either enhanced versions of the regular mobs that you meet, or they don't have any mechanics that stand out to me. If they are fun, they are fun. I think the mechanics are alright, but not necessarily epic. I don't really have a hard time finding them, but they are not super boring to the point where I don't remember what they do. And if they're epic, they're epic. They're epic. But yeah, that's my Silksong boss tier list. And yeah, I think I will call it here. I am tired. I have been yapping for 3 hours while editing. I'll film my Silksong review and edit it later on. Because right now I don't want to film it because I want to see if I could actually improve upon the script. In case I think about anything, in case I come up with something else, in case I have something I feel like I left out. Yeah. For now, this is it. And I'm gonna go lay down because I'm feeling a little bit not good. Okay. Thank you guys for watching. I think more near tomorrow if I'm up for it. Alright. As well as 4K is working well. I don't have it playing on 4K, but the resolution's looking good. The camera's looking good. I don't know if it's because I'm not playing games, but we'll test it out tomorrow. We'll see if it works. Yeah, thank you guys for watching. Hope you all have a wonderful day. And peace. I'm out.